Hello and welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. Today we're going to be talking about Pierre Gasly and his move to Alpine Formula 1 team. I mean, this kind of came out of the blue, didn't it? Fabrizio Romano tweeted on Friday evening, just sat there chilling, thinking, not a lot's going on. Then Fabrizio just goes, Gasly's going to Alpine, by the way. And everyone loses their mind. And then Alpine announced it at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the UK woke up to it that morning. But yeah, a lot of questions about this move. It's one that most people thought would be happening for a while now. Because obviously, Alpine had the whole Alonso and then Piastri debacle. And yeah, interesting one though. Where do you think, with the lineup of Ocon and Gasly, Alpine will finish in constructors next year?
I think McLaren have done them dirty. I do. I really think they'd rather out Piastri. I think Piastri would do better.
Intriguing.
Now, I mean, this season...
Gasly's got experience though. Piastri's a rookie.
This season they've looked quick. And at times they've been up at the very top. Obviously, Ocon won a race last season. Alonso got a podium last season. You know, not last season, the season before. No, it wasn't.
What's last season?
It was last season, yeah. And they've been right up at the sharp ends at points. I think Ocon will do the same. I have question marks over Pierre Gasly. Really depends what Gasly turns up. If it's the Gasly we've seen this season, then Alpine are not going to be happy. If it's the Gasly we've seen last season and the season before, where he won in Monza, it's very... I think this is where my debate with Alpha Tauri is. This year, is it the Alpha Tauri car that's dragging Gasly down?
Or is Gasly not adapting?
Or is Gasly not
to the new car
and performing well?
I don't know. I really rate Pierre Gasly and I think he will perform well, if given the right machinery. I think Alpine will have that machinery next year. I genuinely think Alpine will be third, maybe second. I think at the moment, if I look at it, Red Bull should be clear.
Yeah.
Ferrari should be second. But after that, I don't know. And I do think Alpine could beat Ferrari potentially. Yeah, it's a bit of a bold prediction, but I look at Mercedes and I think the Alpine car, if anything, looks a little better right now. And I think if we were in the dry, maybe we'd have seen that at Suzuka.
I think Ocon could have a very good season as well. Gasly's going to be right up there with him.
And then as for McLaren, yes, they've got Lando Norris, but
I think
Piastri's going to be a rookie. I think he'll do all right. Well, he is going to be a rookie. That's a nailed on fact. But
I can't take that.
Yeah, he's not going to come in with 30 years of Formula 1 experience.
No,
but
I think Piastri's going to come in with flying colours.
He could start well. It doesn't mean that he's not going to. I think he'll still do worse than Ocon or Gasly would, or will.
It's interesting to see. I think it'll be a very good battle. It's been a very good battle this year. I think it is.
Piastri will outscore Ricciardo, but Lando won't score as many as he has.
I think Ocon will outscore Lando, but Piastri will outscore Gasly.
Oh, I think Ocon and Gasly will outscore Lando potentially. I think Alpine will be quick next year.
So I think McLaren will be quick.
I don't.
I really do.
Why? They're kind of shit.
It's not though.
It is though.
It's not. I think Ricciardo's making it look worse than it is.
I think Lando's just dragging that car up.
They should have both been in Q3 in Suzuka. They should have both been in Q3 in Singapore. They should have both been in Q3 in many other races this season where Ricciardo should shat the bed.
Yeah, but does Piastri do any better?
Yes.
That's what I question.
I think he does.
I don't know.
He's just got a bit more aggression and a bit more...
Is that a bad thing? Is he just going to bin it every time?
No, but I look at...
He's a quick driver.
He's coming in and he hasn't been the quickest. The Alfa Romeo...
No, but he's a solid driver. And that Alfa Romeo is a decent...
I think Piastri's going to show a bit of racecraft here. And just,
a bit of racecraft.
And I think he's going to really channel that kind of rookie behaviour. It's going to be fast. It's going to be reckless. Sometimes it might not pay off and he might hit a barrier, but most of the other time he's going to do well. I'm channeling Max Verstappen first season vibes.
Interesting.
Where he's just really fast but very error prone. This is how have we got to Piastri?
I was going to say, you've just started shouting about him. But yeah, on the topic of young drivers, what does this mean for Jack Doohan? Because if you're Jack Doohan now and you look at that Alpine team, two 25-year-olds.
Two 25-year-old Frenchmen in a French team with a French engine.
And he looks at how Piastri's gone out and found himself a contract. Does Jack Doohan go and have a little knock on the door of Gene Haas's Gunther Steiner's office and say, Mick's pretty shit, isn't he?
Horrible.
I don't think he'll get the seat then. The problem is, I think Haas are looking for an older guy,
Yeah.
an experienced pair of hands, because they've got no money.
I'm hanging it like a cow.
And Williams have the issue of having Logan Sargent, so why would they need Jack Doohan?
Yeah.
So where does Jack Doohan go? Is it that he has to just stay in F2 and hope that someone has a seat next year?
I think he has to. Because Alpine was a perfect fit. Because Ferrari, Red Bull, Merc, too high. Alpine are sorted, McLaren are sorted. Haas don't want him, Williams don't want him. Alpha Tauri are sorted, Alfa Romeo.
The only thing I could see, the only way I could see him going to Williams is if Alpine pay a little bit of cash. And then potentially Sargent goes in there alongside him the year after.
Sorted with Albon and
Sargent.
I haven't got that same driver there.
That's what I'm saying. Either Doohan or Sargent goes into that seat.
Who have we lost?
Latifi.
Oh no, we lost Vettel, haven't we, from the whole merry-go-round?
Yeah, so we have to add more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an odd one. I really don't know where Jack Doohan goes now. Does he look at another team? I think he should have been a shoo-in for that Alpha Tauri seat.
Yes, but I think the man that's in there is better than him.
And that's a nice little segue into Nyck De Vries joining Alpha Tauri. Obviously, they had to replace Pierre Gasly. I like Nyck. I really like Nyck. But this does open a lot of questions about Alpha Tauri.
It does, but
I think it makes a lot of sense, though.
I think a very quick driver, points on his F1 debut, very short, so he fits the team quota.
Yeah, Alpha Tauri.
Formula E world champion.
And I think it makes sense. I presume this will be a 2-year deal, and then they'll assess the academy. Because if you look at the young drivers in there right now,
not great. And I love
none
him
of
and
them,
awesome, but he's been crap.
none of them are going to win the F2 Championship this year. So I think Hadjar's got at least 2 seasons, but he could definitely be up there.
Yeah.
Crawford's got at least 2 seasons, but he could definitely be up there.
I think it's done for Durivala, it's done for Lawson.
Yeah.
I think it's Hauser's got this year to prove himself.
Well, Durivala's left now, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Or at least he's been testing with like McLaren and stuff.
Hauser's got this year to prove himself, but if he has a bad year, it's done for him. Owasa,
Especially if he gets clowned on by the absolute goat, Ollie Bearman.
Owasa's got a year.
Iwasa won't win the championship this year.
This is a big year for Hauser and Owasa. If they aren't up there in the championship fight, I think that is their route to F1 gone. And then it steps up for Hadjar and Crawford.
They have to win it second season.
If Hadjar and Crawford come both into the high-tech team in Formula 2 for 2023, if they come in and start driving really, really well, Red Bull...
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because Ollie Bearman, right, if he wins the championship in his first season, he can't go to F1.
I know.
Because he's 17. You have to be 18 now because of the super license rules.
Oh, they change it for Max
because of Max Verstappen. So he cannot go into Formula 1. That's ridiculous.
That is mental.
That he wouldn't be allowed.
He'd be too...
So he'd have to spend a year just doing nothing.
We do know that he's not going to win the Formula 2.
Why?
Because he's like 7.
He's 17. Mate, honestly, Ollie Bearman.
And if we look at who came up to F2 this year, Hauser, Doohan. Okay, Doohan was an exception. He was quite good. Sargent was also quite good.
I was going to say.
Owasa was also quite good.
Yeah.
So only Hauser. That's
Novalak was fine.
That's what I do find weird. Is that
Vesti did well.
The actual champion had a stinger, whereas all the runners up. So Hauser, who won the F3 championship, had a mare.
I thought you were saying Drugovic was crap all year and somehow got there, but everyone else was great. Yeah, Nassani really did outperform him.
I think next year's F2 champion. I mean, obviously Nyck De Vries, also an F2 world champion.
Should have been in that Williams seat 3 years ago.
He's won everything. He's won everything that isn't Formula 1.
Yeah.
Could he be the next Dutchman to win the Formula
1? Is he the only man that can stop Max Verstappen?
I mean, what if he does do well?
That's what I'm saying. How well do you think
put him in the
do?
Red Bull Academy and push him up to Red Bull?
Yeah, but then he doesn't need to be in the Red Bull Academy if he's in Red Bull, does he? He's just in Red Bull.
Yeah, okay, very true.
But I think they'll only force that if De Vries or Tsunoda's amazing, or if Iwasa wins the championship. But I presume De Vries will be on a year's contract, like Tsunoda is. And then if Iwasa somehow wins the championship or something like that, then...
If Alpha Tauri can provide a good car, Tsunoda and De Vries...
It's a fun lineup.
I'd say 5th best team on the grid.
Nah, mate. Nah. McLaren, Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. Alpha Tauri aren't beating out any of them. That's what I think.
So I think Aston will be quick.
Aston will be good.
Oh, mate. Is it going to be Alfa 2 exceptional drivers?
I think Alfa Romeo will be below them. I think Haas will be below him. I think it'll be close between them and Williams. Honest opinion, depending on whether Jack Doohan's in the car. If it's Sargent, Williams will be bottom. If it's Doohan, they'll be top.
Or is it just going to be really close and it's going to be race by race on who's where?
Yeah, who prefers the tracks? And considering De Vries doesn't have as much experience at any of these tracks.
I mean, look at the tracks he's driving Formula E.
Yeah, he's been driving at go-kart tracks.
Who's that? Yeah.
They're just random.
We saw sometimes,
alleys.
like Max Santa Suzuka, the go-kart lines win you races.
Yeah. So if it's pissing it down with rain, De Vries got experience. But yeah, well, no, because they can't race in the wet in FE, do they? They will just die. They'll just crash into a wall together. Yeah. But yeah, and then so predictions for the last two seats. What are we thinking?
So we've got Williams and Haas.
Are we going to go serious predictions of it's going to be Nico Hülkenberg and Logan Sargent, or are we going to say Roberto Merhi? He was at Suzuka. I saw him in FP2. Haas seat confirmed.
I want Hülkenberg. So Magnussen's there like suck my balls, mate.
No, but I think they do. I think they would get on.
Oh yeah, they would be. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm hanging there like a cow.
I don't think they're still.
Come there and suck my balls, mate.
Right. Yeah. I don't care for Nico Hülkenberg. I like him. He seems like a great guy, but
I'm going.
But
what you just said?
No, hear
you
me
don't
out.
care for Nico Holt. I can't say his name.
But why do we need to give a 32-year-old? I think it's 32, isn't he? Another shot in Formula One.
It's Nico Holt.
He's never got a podium.
Yeah, he will.
He won't.
He won't.
He won't.
No.
I'd rather him go for Daniel Ricciardo and just see what happens.
He said that it looks like he said he's
he's not.
I did cry.
F1 next year. Maybe he'll get into F2. Don't think they've won that, so he can.
I'll miss him. I really like Daniel.
Yeah,
I just wish
he's a good character, but he's not a good. He's not been a good driver this year.
Really
should have stayed at Renault, mate.
Yeah.
No, he had a good thing going there.
Could go Formula E.
Imagine Alonso then came back to McLaren. That'd have been mental.
Oh my god.
That'd actually been ridiculous.
I love that though. That is sick.
Yeah.
Oh, what can you like rip all the contract?
Can we go back to 3 years ago
actually,
now?
Like, the FIA should just like every 3 years they just suddenly get to like the end of the season they go, right, we're cancelling all contracts, you have to renegotiate between yourselves.
Yeah, and then Red Bull will just go, Max, have all our money, and then they'll be fine. Like, nothing's going to happen. What are you expecting to happen? Now Latifi's in a Merc because Merc didn't get round to getting Hamilton and Russell again, so they've ended up with Latifi. That's not going to happen.
No, and so I think it'll be Hülkenberg in the Haas, and in the Williams seat, I think it will be... I haven't even thought about this.
What do you think of Théo Pourchaire?
No.
Why not?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I think in the Williams it'll be Logan Sargent.
That's boring.
Sargent's better than Porsche.
Boring. They could give Mick a go, you know. They could.
Said maybe. They might. I think they'll go Academy though.
Yeah.
Because imagine they blocked Sargent through. They got Sargent and Doohan just like sitting in F2.
Maybe they can start their own team. The Mick Doohan and Sargent's dad team. That's a good one.
The American Donnies.
No, Doohan isn't.
Oh, Maserati.
What?
They come in.
What, they're coming to Formula 1?
Doohan.
They're entering Formula E this year. They're not going to now start an F1 team at the same
Maybe
time.
Sargent goes Formula E.
What? You don't want him in F1 anymore?
No, I do want an F1.
Could Mick go to FE?
Maybe. Ricardo
Maserati.
could. Porsche could.
What would you think of...
I think it's
He said he hates it.
Oh. Did he actually just say, alright, I absolutely think this is abomination.
Pretty much. What was the other... Gio? What do you think of him coming back to Haas? Antonio
No,
Giovinazzi?
please, no.
It's more interesting than Hülkenberg.
He got outscored by Sete Camera.
Yeah, in FE. Mate, Sete Camera is so good at FE.
He literally cannot drive in the wet and he's last.
He's got to throw the car around, innit?
No, I don't want Gio back. Actually, I will refuse to watch Formula 1 next year if Antonio Giovinazzi is back on the grid.
These reviews are going to be tough. Didn't watch it, mate. Saw Gio.
Did a runner.
But no, I don't see any... I don't think it's going to be any surprises now. It's just going to be boring. Like, Colton Herta, that was somewhat interesting. I mean, I don't think he'd have done...
He's still testing the old McLarens.
That interesting.
Him and Alex Palau.
Doesn't matter.
Keep going around Spain and Austria in old McLarens.
So many old
Keep doing
McLarens.
it.
I guess the goal is he could win IndyCar next year and get enough super license points to replace Lando Norris.
Why would they want him?
Well,
What?
they have to have an alternative if Lando goes Red Bull.
Oh, Lando leaves, yeah. I thought, when he said
Yeah.
replace, I thought about
Yeah, no, they're not binning him off. He's really stank up the gaff this year.
Goodbye, Lando.
Off to
Look at
Williams.
some bloke who's literally the tyres are tiny and they're a windscreen.
What's wrong with IndyCar?
I like IndyCar. It's
IndyCar's
just funny.
quality, mate. They have to put the little suction things on their head.
Yeah, they bum draft.
No, that's NASCAR.
Oh, yes, that one.
Pleb.
He
Right.
ran circles of 500 laps.
Yeah, that's just the Indy 500. None of the others,
know.
they do that.
I mean, to be fair, the dedication to the drivers to do that for 500
Mate, it's like
laps.
us going to Monaco.
I'd fall asleep. I'd genuinely fall asleep if I was a driver and I had to drive 500 laps
You
in a
wouldn't
circle.
know.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably die.
Yeah, you would fall asleep.
Yeah,
you never see anything ever again.
No.
Fall into a big
But to
coma.
round off, I think Gasly will do alright. I think De Vries will have a shit car but still do well.
Well summed up, and that is where we'll round it up today. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of Gasly getting that step up to Alpine? Do you think he deserved it? And do you think he'll perform well? And then as for De Vries, does he deserve a shot at Formula 1, or should it go to someone like Liam Lawson?
No.
But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.